Hi, Table Talk community. It's awesome. I hope everybody is feeling awesome. I'm feeling awesome. I had a cup of coffee. I hope everybody had their morning coffee already and you're feeling great. You're staying safe. You're staying inside and you're wearing your mask and you're loving each other with our invisible hugs and our invisible kisses. I'm so glad to do Table Talk today. I have a wonderful question. And again, thank you so much for the questions. I appreciate the questions. I love that we are getting to know each other as a community all over the world. We're getting these questions from everyone, and everyone is coming together with responses to help each other. We're helping each other with our journey. We're helping each other with how we recover and how we thrive in our lives. We just don't respond to the question as another person that is suffering. We also respond to the person as another person that is being a good listener, and we're thriving, and we want you to thrive too. So we share our tools and we share our positive antidotes and our practices, and we share how we execute those positive antidotes and those practices so we can thrive in our lives. And I want to just share the good news. Me as a individual dealing with various mental challenges, I have dreams, and I know you do too. And in those dreams, I really want to, I have an agenda, and I wrote my agenda down of all the things I want to do in life, and I want to help people, and I want to do some things, and I want to be an author, and I want to open up a business. So great news. I just started to open up my business, and I am feeling so accomplished. And this is just a message to everyone right here, right now. You can thrive with a mental illness. You can do anything you want to do. If you want, one of the members wanted to be own a art gallery. Please do not stop. Keep moving and own that art gallery. I will personally visit the art gallery. Do the things you want to do that's in your dreams and that's in your heart, and make you feel so accomplished and so good inside that you don't have to settle for just mediocre. You can go for the gusto. The world is waiting for you, whatever you want to do. So I just wanted to say that before we go for the question. We can do it. Thriving with mental illness is what we're doing. So the question for today is, and it's hard for me to control my anger. Is it hard for you too? And to that member, I said, yes, it is. It's very difficult when you're dealing with mental illness to control the moods and the irresponsible responses that you get with those moods, because I'm dealing with various mental illnesses. I think I said it before. I'm dealing with not only bipolar 1, I have cluster B personality disorders, which is those 4 clusters of personality disorders. We talked about that. And I also have PTSD, which comes with its own set of symptoms with anxiety, antisocialism, the fictitious thinking, the delusions, the hallucinations, the anger. The anger is just very, very highlighted in all of those diseases. Depression is very, very highlighted in all of those diseases. And once you get depressed, I speak about it in my books, Deep Depression Tornado System Theory, where you have these symptoms that is hand it over into depression, and then depression it just presses you into a deeper depression where it's deep depression. And then you get another set of symptoms. As an example, suicide ideation is in deep depression. And then you get harmful strategic planning that's in deep depression. And it gets to the point where it's so heavy, where then harming yourself and or others is a thought in your mind. And we'll talk about that. You know what? I'm going to put a pin in that because that's something we need to talk about. I'm going to start breaking down the deep depression tornado system theory because it goes into stages. It's stages 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 4 is the catastrophic stage where if you don't apply those positive antidotes and those positive components, which is for me, partnership with my counselor, set of agenda practices, positive practices, executing those practices and executing those antidotes and putting them into a routine where you do them coming as a second nature to you. It's just, it happens. Once you start applying those as a routine practice, you can see those fictitious thoughts coming. You can see those bad behaviors coming, and you can head them off at the pass with your positive antidote and head them off at the pass with your execution of a positive practice. That'll bring your mind to a balance. Now, it's unfortunate. I would like to say mental illness disappears, but it doesn't. So then we have to constantly fight it. We fight it with the good stuff. And that's how we bring our mind to a balance with the good stuff. So when I'll talk about it going forward with, and I'll break it apart. It's the deep depression tornado system theory. It's very, very illuminating. And then it'll give you an image of how mental illness looks, as opposed to just saying mental illnesses and not giving it a structure. Because we both know that mental illness is a system. And if it is a system, it has a pathology. And if it has a pathology, then it's on an assignment. And if it's on an assignment, it has an end game. And that end game is to destroy you and or others. And you'll never see me walking down the street holding hands with bipolar 1 saying, oh, me and bipolar 1 are best friends now. We love each other now. And you don't have to worry about us. You'll never see that. You'll always see me saying, oh my God, my manicness and my deep depression is taking over my life and it is causing me to misbehave. It's always a destruction end game. It'll never be a loving end game. So we'll talk about that. And I'm glad I said something about it because we'll talk about it because it's important to know, because once we start realizing how it looks, then we can bring positive antidotes to it and we can head it off at the pass and bring our mind to a balance. So the anger, back to the question. Yes, I do suffer the anger, and I'm triggered by anything. Someone can say something disruptive, it'll anger me. Someone can do something to me and it can be taken wrong. I can just take it the wrong way and it can anger me. And when you're dealing with someone with mental illness, anger lingers for days and days, and then it shifts over to retaliation. So because you want to retaliate, mental illness doesn't let you just stay angry and then it fizzle out and then you just let bygones be bygones. No, you take those, for me, you take that anger and that anger grows and it festers and it stirs in your mind. And before you know it, you want to turn into a retaliatory individual and you want to pay that person back. But it never fails. The person you want to pay back is never around. So then you end up harming an innocent bystander with your anger. And that's what we don't want to do. And I think I'm gonna unpack anger a little bit more, because for me, I've noticed how my anger sits inside my thinking, and it starts a strategic plan on how I can retaliate and get the anger off of my shoulders, because anger feels like a weight. It feels like some sense of a heavy weight, like a yoke on your shoulders. And if you don't get it off, it gets heavier and get heavier. It's something similar to depression, because if you don't get it off of you, it gets heavier and heavier. And before you know it, for me, I'm a suicide survivor 2 times over. So for me, when I got depressed, depression gave me the fictitious thinking like taking pills and taking my life was a good idea. So in order to get that weight off of me, I did take those pills, and I did try to take my life twice. So it's a serious thing. You have to be careful. That's why I want to talk about the theory, so we can start recognizing when it slips on you. It sneaks up on you like a robber. Before you know it, it's on you, and you're looking to get that person in a retaliatory way. So how do I fix that anger? For me, I go slow and then go. Before I react to a situation, I go slow. That gives me time to assess the situation, and then I'll go. So my response will be a responsible response. So slow, then go. Slow allows you to think, it gives you an opportunity to bring your mind to a balance and have a perfect response. Sometimes, and I'll say this too, sometimes your response is just walking away. That I've done that plenty of times. Walking away and saving your mind from the ridiculous, fictitious thinking. When I say slow, that gives you the time to stop, assess the situation, and assess the consequences if you do something irrational. If I jump up and do something real irrational and I slap this person, what are the consequences to that? Maybe jail time. Maybe I might get put out of my apartment. It can be very serious consequences. So slow, let me think about what I'm doing, and then go. And that's most of the time it's beneficial to me. It's helped me a whole lot. And sometimes I'm good at being a good listener. Let's practice being a good listener, because everything doesn't require a response. Everything doesn't require, well, I want to say this on what's on my mind. Sometimes it's just silence. That's the best thing since sliced bread. Sometimes silence is just, I won't comment on that. And to take that anger, you want to turn it into a positive outlet. My positive outlet, I walk, I do yoga, I ride bikes, and I am a workout type of a person. I just started doing it and started really getting into it and started really being committed to it. And then I jumped into clean eating. I started eating healthy. I'll tell you my little story about my weight journey as we go further into our community talks. But keeping busy in a positive outlet, find your positive outlet. You'll love it. It's the best. To have me 1 hour of riding my bike, I come back and I totally don't even think about what I was angry about. Reading books, I find really good, healthy books to read. And after I read the book, I totally forgot about what I was thinking about. Because that's what we're going to have. That's the world we're living in. We're living in a world full of individuals. We're going to have some individuals that's going to push our buttons. But we are better than that. We're going to have to show positive outlets, and we're going to have responsible responses, because especially because we're dealing with a lot of mental challenges. We're sensitive. We're a little bit sensitive. So we have to be aware. We have to be slow enough to assess our situation, and then go. And sometimes that means just go outside the door and shut the door. So I hope that I shared my experience with you, and I hope that's helpful. And everybody, go ahead and throw your comments in there and help this member with some good tools on how to balance her thinking and control the anger, or whatever's good. Share your thoughts. What makes you calm down when you're angry? And it's good for us to share, because all of us do it differently. We all handle it differently. But you know what? We're all in it together. So until next time, thank you so much for the question. I love the question. Until next time, stay healthy.